Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Something rather bizarre is happening all over the globe. What am I talking about? Well, everything from rat infestations to, earthquake activity to even wildfires and heat waves and food shortages, all kinds of bizarre events. Now, call it prophetic things that are happening or call it due to the solar minimum. Either way, something not normal is going on. Now, what I want to do in today's report is take you first to the earthquake, straight there. Now, I've done a report on this earlier, but what I want to do today is prove to you statistically how many on average happen every week or month, and then show you exactly what's happened in the last week and why it should be something we should worry about. Let me take you first to Infowars.com. This report put out August 24th. Seismic shocker. The number of global earthquakes over the last 30 days is more than 50% above normal. How did they come up with this number? Well, if you go over to earthquaketrack.com, you can see there are an average of 82,894 earthquakes over a 1.5 every single year. Now, if we take that number and divide it by 12, because there's a 12 months in a year, then you have about 6,907 earthquakes per month on average. Keep that number in the back of your mind. However, if you look at the past 30 days of earthquakes, you see a staggering number of 10,495 earthquakes. If you compare the average of 6,907 quakes a month, or say about 7,000 a month, then compare that to the 10,500-ish per month, that's about 3,500 per month more than the average month. So yes, this is how they have managed to come up with a 50% increase. Now I want to take you on over to another site because I want to show you first this story. I put this story out a couple of days ago showing that there were over 144.5 quakes in the last 7 days. Well, I went to the usgs.gov and got the latest on this, and now that number is up. There has been 161 over 4.5 earthquakes in the past week. Now I'm going to break this down a little more for you, and I'm going to ask you to follow me, and I have to follow my notes. So if there was 161 4.5 or higher quakes in the last week, the way that the USGS.gov breaks everything down is they analyze 5.0 higher earthquakes per year and up. Well, the map there that you saw goes 4.5 and higher. So what I've done, and I can't show you the map on this one because it doesn't take out the 4.5s. I just went through the 161, counted how many were above 5.0 or higher, and I came out to about 65. Now, I went through that number rather quick, but 65 was the number I had came up with a couple times. So 65 quakes this week alone that were over 5.0. Now, with that in mind, let's go to this actual statistic. And I'm throwing a lot of statistics at you. Hopefully you're following along with me. But on this chart that you see on the screen, there is an average of about 1,200 to about 2,400-ish over 5.0 or higher quakes a year. Divide that number by 12. This is the one I want to focus on. You get about 100 to 200 quakes a month. So now that you've had that, we have about, on average, 1 to 200 5.0 or higher quakes per month. Well, just this week alone, we've had 65 5-point higher quakes or more this month. Now, if we take that number 65 and multiply it, because there's 4 weeks in a month, right? Then you get an average of about 260 quakes. Compare that average to your 1 to 200 per month. We're way over the 200 per month. We're at about 260 per month. If the intensity and amount of quakes continues the way it has this past week. Now, if you take it as a month, it's still kind of in that average. But if they continue to quake as they have been for the past 7 days, for the next 3 weeks, then we've done skyrocketed that average number. This is why it's important and unusual. Again, call this prophecy or call it part of the solar cycles, which obviously that does play a role. Nonetheless, something crazy is going on. But it's not just earthquakes. Check out this report. And this is from Express.co.uk, August 22nd, 2018. Europe facing food shortage as heat wave destroys crops. EU exports to drop. Also on Express, river dries up. Heat wave sees levels sink to record low in 3 areas. Also on Independent, August 14th, 2018, heat wave reveals hidden archaeological sites across Britain countryside. So here we have everywhere in Europe, we have Britain, and we also have Europe facing major heat waves, so much so that the land is starting to dry up and revealed old archaeological sites. And I encourage you guys to check out some of those. They're interesting. But rivers are also drying up. Not to mention, we have to keep in mind food shortages. They always come as a result of droughts and heat waves. So you can guarantee that food prices will go up, because what happens in Europe food-wise, what happens across the globe does affect our food prices here in America. But it's not just Europe that's happening. And let's go over to South Africa, where they're kind of doing harm there as well. Check out this report. This one's from news.com.au. South Africa begins seizing white-owned farmers' land. South Africa has targeted the first 2 farmers for unilateral seizure after the owners refused an offer of 1/10 of the land value. Why am I bringing that story up? Well, if you're seizing land from a bunch of farmers who have farmed these lands for years, then what's going to happen to the food supply? Let's ask the logical question. If nobody's tending the lawn, or maybe the government's taking it over, we're still going to incorporate loss of food at some point during that transition period. Farmers are losing their land. The crops are not going to be produced until it switches hands or changes. It is going to cause devastation on the food supply, which South Africa cannot afford that devastation. Therefore, more strain on the food supply. What about Germany? Well, they're having a rat problem. Check out this report. This is on express.co.uk, put out August 23rd, 2018. Germany hit by biblical-style rat plague after heat wave and drought. Now they have rats as a result of the drought and the heat waves in the area. A bit terrifying, a bit creepy. Wouldn't want to be there right now, probably due to a few other things. I know they had mass immigration come in, crime went up, poverty level also going up there. So lots of things to think about. But what about here at home in America? Let's go to this report. I want to show you on the screen, you see a map of wildfires that have ravished the California area, early and mid-year through the year. This also puts a devastation on the food supply. But all these things, they're happening. We have quakes and we have fires. Now, it's normal to have levels of these things. But when they happen in conjunction and about the same time, then we have to put the puzzle pieces together. Possible outcomes of that, I'm not saying they're 100% certainty, but food supply, as I've stated, could go up. Need and jobs could also be hit as well. So many different things are happening, but we need to be awake and we need to be ready. Now, the Bible obviously talks about a lot of end times events coming to play in the later days. Maybe it's something having to do with the book of Revelation. But in the end, you decide. Or maybe it all has to do with the sun's solar cycle. We know during a solar minimum, which we are in right now, and I believe it goes through the next couple of years, there is an increase in weather and activity. Either way, tell me what you think. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. If you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up, share it everywhere. And don't forget to check out my partner at hidewithlisa.com. Get a VPN today. Don't let the government know what you are searching. It's nobody's business. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.